This is News Today with WDW News Today. I'm Tom Corliss of WDWNT.com. Please like this video, subscribe, and hit the notifications bell to make sure you do not miss the latest from the Disney theme parks all around the world. But here now the news for May 8th, 2023, and it's a big one. Disney is removing the requirement for park pass reservations in 2024 for select ticket types at the Walt Disney World Resort. Beginning January 9th, 2024, date-based tickets, the standard ticket option, will no longer require theme park reservations. If guests purchase tickets with a start date of January 9th, 2024 or later, they will be all set to visit the park of their choice without an additional step. This does not apply to open-dated tickets, including annual passes. Meanwhile, Walt Disney World annual pass holders will not need park reservations on select good-to-go dates starting in 2024. While those date-based tickets will no longer require those park pass reservations, non-dated tickets such as annual passes will still require reservations most of the time. Of course, the ability to enter the parks after 2 p.m. without a reservation, except for Magic Kingdom on Saturday and Sunday, will still be in place, but the new good-to-go days will be in addition to the current system. The days will be added on an ongoing basis and will not negate applicable blockout dates, though. This will also apply to cast member tickets. This will be the same sort of thing. More details will be released in the future. Disney hasn't given any more information than that, but this is obviously more of what people have been asking for, right? Number one, it's always been kind of dumb that the date-based, people needed to make a reservation. Like, Disney knew you were coming. They knew what days you were coming. So what reasoning was there to have park reservations necessary for those guests? I have no idea. And then this just deciding, like, you know what, if it's not busy for a couple of weeks, can we just sort of turn off the system for the most part for pass holders and cast members? The right decision, but let's also be honest about what is happening. We are seeing this day in and day out. Attendance is down. The bubble has burst. All that pent-up demand we saw post-COVID is no longer a thing. And in fact, what's funny is we're at the parks on Sunday, and I basically called this. I said, if no one's coming, then what is the purpose of a park reservation system? This will go away, most likely, right? And I think over the next coming years and decades, we'll see an ebb and flow. But this is the nature of the business. The business is attendance rises, and everyone in the industry. This is not Disney alone. Universal, just as cocky and vicious they can be, and often just mimic whatever Disney does in most cases. Although they didn't jump in on this whole thing. But as attendance is higher, you're like, oh, we can finally do all these things we wanted to do. Look at this demand. And then as that starts to come down, it becomes, it turns out we're not impervious, and there will be a downturn, and maybe we will not be able to implement these things. And that's what we're seeing, and it was kind of predictable. We didn't know when the floor was going to fall out from underneath them, but it looks like it finally has. And there are more stories that we're about to read that will indicate that as well. Also, Disney is working on a way for guests to book Disney Genie Plus and individual Lightning Lane selections before their trip even happens. Changes are anticipated to roll out in time for guests planning a visit in 2024. Disney Genie Plus is getting an update later this year. The official statement from Disney says, quote, we have heard from guests that they would like ways to plan with Disney Genie Plus service and individual Lightning Lane selections before the day of their park visit, and we want you to know we are working on ways guests may do this for visits in 2024. Our goal is to give you the opportunity to spend less time planning in the parks and more time enjoying your visit with friends and family. While we are not yet able to share specific details, we look forward to sharing more information at a later date. Then here's another highly anticipated announcement, and they've said this before, but it feels real now, maybe. Disney has announced the return of the Disney dining plan to the Walt Disney World Resort beginning, you guessed it, in 2024. Bookings for these will begin on May 31st, 2023. Dining plans were a staple of Walt Disney World vacation packages before the pandemic, and they have not been offered since the parks reopened in the summer of 2020, so they ended in March of 20. Guests will be able to use dining plans on visits starting January 9th, 2024, and bookings again will open on May 31st. Two packages will be offered, the Disney Quick Service Dining Plan or the Disney Dining Plan, and both allow guests to prepay for meals and snacks. The Disney Quick Service Dining Plan includes the following: Everyone in the travel party ages 3 and up will receive 2 quick service meals per night and 1 snack/non-alcoholic drink per night of their package stay, along with 1 resort refillable drink mug. And meals and snacks can be redeemed at any time during the stay. Some other information that's important: beverages are included with each meal. Guests under 21 years of age may choose from a variety of non-alcoholic beverages. Guests 21 and older with valid identification may substitute for beer, wine, and cocktails. Guests ages 3 to 9 must order from a children's menu where available, and the plan must be purchased for the entire length of stay and for the entire party ages 3 and up. As for the regular Disney dining plan, what's included there: everyone in the travel party ages 3 and up will receive 1 table service meal per night, 1 quick service meal per night, and 1 snack/non-alcoholic beverage per night of their package stay, along with 1 resort refillable drink mug. Meals and snacks, again, can be redeemed at any time during the entire stay. 2 table service meals will be redeemed from the dining plan for each person dining at a fine or signature dining experience, select character dining experience, or a dinner show. Disney will give information on what those are now in the next few days. Guests ages 3 to 9 must order again from a children's menu where available, and the plan must be purchased again for the entire length of the stay. Again, those venues that accept the dining plan and those that will be multiple credits per meal will be announced again at a later date. They said later this month specifically. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis has signed SB 1604 into law, including the amendment voiding the Disney and Reedy Creek Improvement District's development agreement. The bill was introduced into the Florida Senate and passed there 27-13. It passed the Florida House 75-34. Governor DeSantis signed it into law in the afternoon with no press conference. Probably a good thing. Meanwhile, the Walt Disney Company filed an updated lawsuit against Florida Governor Ron DeSantis today after the state legislature moved to void the previously instated 30-year theme park development agreement recently created by the Improvement District. In the latest change within a continually escalating feud between Disney and Ron DeSantis, Deadline reports that Disney is citing some of DeSantis' recent statements to further bolster their claim. The governor's recent legal decisions are retaliatory and unconstitutional in nature, said Disney, and they aim to prove in federal court that DeSantis' actions stem from a disagreement that is protected by the nation's First Amendment. Disney's newly revised complaint opens with a quote from the governor. Only last week, of course, DeSantis said publicly, quote, "This all started, of course, with our Parents' Rights Bill." And man, again, I will say this again, and people keep saying, oh, you do. No agenda here, ladies and gentlemen, but just as an observer of the situation, maybe he should stop talking, right? That's the number one thing any legal team will often advise you to do when legal action is being threatened or brought against you, is until the air is cleared, stop speaking about it. And in the case of Mr. DeSantis, I think that statement kind of leans in that direction, right? It makes it sound like it is retaliatory, right? So I would, I think he obviously has a much better legal counsel than I could ever afford, probably. And I'm very surprised they allow him to keep talking about it. So we'll see what happens. But I mean, those statements definitely could be interpreted that way. So, it's shocking because obviously when he signed the bill, he remained quiet. He didn't do a press conference, which is probably the right call, right? But again, we will keep our finger on the pulse of what's going on with all this, and we'll keep you informed. This program is brought to you by our official travel agent sponsor, Be Our Guest Vacations. Your dream vacation begins with Be Our Guest Vacations and their concierge team of expert vacation planners. And what a time for them, given that all this great 2024 news has come out, especially the dining plan. They could certainly help you book that. And the best part, of course, is that concierge service, including booking you the dining plan, is 100% free. Head over to beourguestvacations.com/WDWNT, and their team will design your next magical vacation from the Walt Disney World and Disneyland Resorts to aboard the Disney Cruise Line and to Adventures by Disney and more. Starting this week, Walt Disney World cast members will begin to receive their new specially designed name tags in the mail. The new design will feature a gold star above a navy-colored silhouette of Cinderella Castle. This is to represent cast members as the guiding light for the most magical place on Earth. The name tags also feature white stars throughout. As was previously reported, cast members would receive the new name tag soon, but they won't begin wearing them until May 16th. So very soon you'll see them with these brand new name tags. Walt Disney World has made a change to their reservation policy, stating that guests can no longer make modifications to their reservations at the last minute online. The new reservation policy on the Walt Disney World website states the following, quote, restaurants offering advance reservations do not allow modifications within 2 hours of the reservation time, and most charge a $10 per person fee to cancel within 2 hours of the reservation time, or if you don't show up for your reservation. Each restaurant's policies are provided when you make your reservation. Previously, guests could not cancel their reservations on the same day online before changing in November of 2022 to allow cancellations up to 2 hours in advance, while modifications could be made up to a half hour in advance. Now, guests must call the Walt Disney World dining phone number to make any last-minute reservations or modification changes. We probably should have guessed that the dining plan was coming back with this change. This kind of is indicative of its return because they are going to need dining to be available. And this is, again, sort of cutting down on people who may be manipulating the system in some way, right? So not really manipulative, right? If you're playing within the rules, and I would often do this where I would book a reservation just to make sure I'm going to a park on a certain day. I might want to eat somewhere. Maybe I want to go to the Brown Derby. And I know I have up until a half hour before to decide to modify that to another day, another time, whatever the case may be, right? And I had that parachute. Now that parachute is gone. It's a 2-hour window. So now I need to decide 2 hours before reservation if I want to dine there or not. So in fact, on Sunday, we went to Hollywood Studios. I happened to see a last-minute Roundup Rodeo barbecue pop up, and I was like, well, that could be fun. Let's book that. Booked to 7 o'clock. And I set myself an alarm, and like 2 hours and 5 minutes before, I looked at it and decided, okay, I have to decide now if I want this reservation or not, or I can get rid of it, right? And so that's where we're at now, but I think it is definitely preparing for the return of the dining plan. It certainly kills some spontaneity, the little that there was in planning dining in a Walt Disney World vacation, but I don't know. This may change again. We'll see what happens. We'll see if this sticks. I think they're going to get a fair amount of complaints, but we'll see what happens. 3 new dolls in wheelchairs have debuted on It's a Small World at Disneyland Paris. The attraction reopened on Friday after a 1.5 year refurbishment. Walt Disney Imagineering shared a look at some of the new and refreshed dolls on Instagram. Quote, to maintain the attraction's unique artistic heritage, our Disney Imagineers in Paris work closely with our workshop partners at Disneyland Paris to refresh more than 100 toys, various animal figures, and nearly 300 of the iconic dolls, including their traditional outfits and accessories. As we always look to enhance our attractions with meaningful additions, our iconic celebration of children across the globe also welcomed 3 new dolls in wheelchairs. With all the special care and attention given to the attraction, including the mesmerizing lighting and a fresh coat of paint for the whimsical facade, it was not a small task after all. Congratulations to our Paris design and show quality team. Of course, dolls in wheelchairs were first added to the It's a Small World attraction at Disneyland when it reopened for the holidays last year, and the dolls in wheelchair are part of an ongoing diversity and inclusivity initiative for the Walt Disney Company. And a doll in a wheelchair was also added to It's a Small World at the Magic Kingdom recently. The Avengers Power the Night drone show will return to Walt Disney Studios Park at Disneyland Paris this fall. The show originally debuted in January to celebrate 6 months of Avengers Campus and the grand finale of the Disneyland Paris 30th anniversary. It supposedly ended its run last week, but then was confirmed to return. It'll be back September 1st through November 5th. The show features drones depicting Spider-Man, Captain America's shield, Mjolnir, Nick Fury, and many other symbols of the franchise as firework flares shoot from the Tower of Terror and projections cover its surface. Iconic quotes from the Marvel Cinematic Universe are played over snippets of scores from the various MCU films as well. The Disney Cruise Line 25th Silver Anniversary at Sea theme song called Shimmering Seas is now streaming in multiple places on multiple platforms as of last week. The song was released at the end of March and was written by Michelle Zarlenga. The artist also wrote the recently released Disney Vacation Club song, Where We Belong, Welcome Home, which you may have heard, which is not a great song. I do like the Shimmering Seas song. You can stream it right now. It's on a whole bunch of platforms. I know I got it on Apple Music. Guests aboard the Disney Magic cruise ship can find some new touches and enhancements featuring the worlds of Pixar's Soul as well as Encanto and Moana on their next voyages. During a recent 3-week dry dock project, some new touches were added to the ship to infuse some of Disney's latest films into the ship. First up, guests can join the fantastical family madrigal during an all-new immersive experience. An Encanto celebration is designed to engage families through music, crafts, and storytelling. The interactive experience gives guests an opportunity to meet and take photos with Mirabelle and the family members we don't talk about, Bruno, during their Disney Cruise Line debut. Families can also join a spirited sing-along of beloved Encanto songs and create butterfly and flower crafts inspired by the film. And during the show, guests can experience a true taste of South America thanks to a selection of local Colombian beers, as well as cocktails and sodas, along with film-inspired mocktails. Disney did not note where on the ship this takes place or when, but obviously check the app if you're getting on board. Meanwhile, the heartfelt story of Soul was the inspiration for the brand new Soul Cat Lounge, designed to look like Joe Gardner's favorite music spot from the film, The Half Note Lounge. Why did they not just name it The Half Note Lounge? I couldn't tell you. But I'm sure they tested it and decided Soul Cat was more clear to guess what it was, maybe. The space, located on Deck 3 near Rapunzel's Royal Table restaurant, instantly transport guests to a classic New York jazz club appointed with decorative details like brick walls, wood accents, and plenty of rich leather seating around a stage set for live music, so guests can grab their partner and head to the dance floor for a swinging good time each evening. This replaces the former Promenade Lounge, and we shared another look at this on our site. The Soul Cat Lounge is adorned with custom artwork from Pixar featuring nods to the film, including record labels, concert posters, and portraits of jazz legend Dorothea Williams and her bandmates. And thoughtful soul-inspired details are subtly layered throughout the design, including record players, instruments, and Joe's hat. And adults can enhance their big city experience with tableside Manhattans and martinis, or choose from a selection of native brews and cocktails made with New York spirits. A fun collection of mocktails, specialty coffees, and sodas are also on the menu. In addition to new drink options, guests can take a bite of Little Italy with an order of Zapples, or however you want to. Everyone pronounces them different. The classic Italian pastry similar to a fried donut while they enjoy the live music. And for guests seeking the ultimate comfort and service at sea, the concierge spaces aboard the Disney Magic have been enhanced as well. The concierge lounge was reimagined and expanded to feature a sophisticated new theme and tropical color palette inspired by Moana, and an additional outdoor covered seating area on Deck 10 where guests can relax with a refreshing beverage while enjoying the ocean breeze. That was added as well. All concierge suites, including 1- and 2-bedroom accommodations and the 2 signature royal suites, have been completely refurbished with fresh fixtures, furniture, and elegant artwork, further elevating the premium experience for concierge guests. Shore power technology was also installed as part of the ship's dry dock project, continuing Disney Cruise Line's longtime dedication to minimizing its impact on the environment. And when available at the port, this will allow the Disney Magic to plug into the port's electrical grid, reducing the ship's emissions. The Disney Magic is currently sailing its first of 3 itineraries from San Juan, Puerto Rico. Beginning May 24th, the ship will return to Miami for a summer of cruises to the Bahamas and the Caribbean, including the Silver Anniversary at Sea celebration in honor of the 25th anniversary of the cruise line. This fall, the Disney Magic will be heading west for its inaugural season, sailing out of San Diego. After 3 years, guests at all 6 Disney resorts around the world can finally hug characters at meet and greets, with Tokyo Disney Resort finally lifting the restrictions as of May 8th. Starting today, guests meeting characters at Tokyo Disneyland and Disney Sea are finally allowed to hug those characters when they meet them, as well as stand next to them for a photo. This change comes as Japan reclassifies COVID-19 as a disease on the same level as the flu, rather than tuberculosis or the plague. With this change by the government, the industry-created COVID-19 safety rules for theme parks around Japan has also been abolished. And with this change, Tokyo Disney Resort has become the last Disney park on Earth worldwide to resume character hugging. Guests were able to hug characters at Disneyland Paris from last March, Walt Disney World and Disneyland from last April, Hong Kong Disneyland from January this year, and Shanghai Disneyland from early March. So I hate to say this, knock on wood, but that's kind of it, right? That's the last of the COVID things really at any of the parks around the world. So that's a nice change. It's good to hear. We've been talking about it for many years on this show, and so it's nice to maybe, hopefully, close that chapter. We'll see what happens. Last year, Hong Kong Disneyland debuted its new nighttime spectacular Momentous, a love letter to the memories we make throughout our lives. And with travel restrictions lifting and costs going down, we finally got the chance to head over and see the show for ourselves. At least Spencer did. You can watch the full show right here on our YouTube channel. We're happy to finally provide it for those that have not yet been able to get out to Hong Kong Disneyland. For the absolute latest on these stories and all that didn't make it into today's show, be sure to check WDWNT.com and follow us on all your favorite social media platforms. You can support the entire team behind this show and others by joining the WDWNT Interglobe Society at patreon.com/WDWNT. Get access to exclusive content, discounted show and event tickets, and more. Special shout out to all of our WIGS members who make this show happen every single week. For the worldwide leader in Disney Parks news, this is Tom Corliss saying, enjoy the rest of your today and have a great, big, beautiful tomorrow.
This is Disney Entertainment News Today. I'm Rob Whiteside, and here now are the top Disney entertainment stories.
For the latest in Disney entertainment news, watch Disney Entertainment News Today, hosted by Rob Whiteside. From movies and series news to stage shows, books, video games, and more. New episodes drop every Tuesday on WDWNT.tv.